The rusty sword asterisk, the sky was gray. The sun hadn't shone in days. Wind moved slowly across the broken land. Dead machines lay everywhere. Long ago, this place was a city, full of people and power. Now it was quiet. Only ruins remained. A boy named Kai walked across the dust. He was 16, thin and smart. Not a soldier, not a hero, just a scavenger. He wore an old jacket and carried a bag for scrap metal. Every day he searched the ruins, hoping to find something to sell. Kai had no family. He lived alone in a small tent far from the city ruins. Didn't care about the past. He only wanted food for the next day. Today something was different. He found a strange hill of rocks near a broken statue. When he kicked a rock, he saw metal underneath. It looked like a door. Kai knelt down, brushed the dust away. There was a round metal plate with symbols on it. He had never seen these symbols before. Still, he pressed it. Click. The ground shook. Small part of the earth opened like a trapdoor. Inside, there was a dark tunnel with stairs going down. Kai looked around. No one was near. He turned on his flashlight and went inside. The tunnel was cold. Old wires hung from the walls. Strange machines sat in the corners covered in dust. Walked slowly, one step at a time. At the end of the tunnel, there was a round room. It was silent. In the center of the room, stuck in a stone, was a rusty sword. Kai laughed a little. Sword? Seriously? Looks old and useless. Still something. Pulled him toward it, dropped his bag and walked up to the sword. He touched the handle. It was warm, and then dash, boom. Lights turned on, red, blue, and white. The ground shook again. The stone holding the sword cracked. Kai stepped back, scared. But the sword, it moved by itself. Slowly it rose from the stone. It hovered in the air, then floated down into Kai's hands. The room filled with light. Deep voice echoed from above. Welcome back, Emperor Kale. Imperial bloodline confirmed. Kai's heart stopped. What? Emperor? Who's Kale? Suddenly. Screens on the wall came to life. Old maps. Images of cities. A symbol of a golden eagle with 3 stars. Rebooting Empire core systems ... Awaiting orders. Kai didn't know what was happening. He dropped the sword. But it didn't fall. It floated in the air, still glowing, waiting for him. He backed away slowly. Nope, I'm out, said, turning to leave. But the door behind him had closed above the chamber. In the outer ruins, a group of people saw the lights rise from the ground. They were travelers, survivors, hunters. One of them, a woman with gray eyes, gasped. The old light, it's back. Tall man beside her knelt. The Emperor has returned. After 300 years he has come. They ran toward the hidden chamber. Back inside, Kai was trying to open the exit. Nothing worked. Then the sword floated close again. A soft female voice spoke this time. It came from the sword. You are Kai, but your DNA matches Emperor Kale. You are a direct descendant. The Empire recognizes you. I'm just a scavenger, Kai said. I don't know anything about an empire. Sword chose you. The system has awakened. All of them will come, friends. Enemies, you must lead. Or fall. A loud sound echoed through the tunnel. The exit finally opened. Kai walked out, still holding the sword. The air was cold. Then he saw them. 10 people were waiting outside. All were kneeling. One of them looked up at him and said, All hail the Emperor. Kai took a step back. His hands were shaking. I'm not your emperor. But the sword glowed brighter, and deep in the earth, giant machines began to move. The wind was still. No one spoke. 10 people knelt in the dust, their heads bowed. Kai stood in front of them, the rusty sword glowing faintly in his hand. He didn't understand. He had just picked up an old sword. Now strangers were calling him emperor. He took a step back. I think you've got the wrong person, he said. One of the kneeling figures raised her head. She looked around 50, her face marked by time and survival. No, my lord, she said. Your return was foretold. The bloodline does not lie. Kai shook his head. I'm not a king. I'm just ... me. Suddenly the sword in his hand pulsed. A soft light came from its hilt, and a small orb floated out, spinning in the air. A hologram appeared, a 3D image of a man in golden armor. The man looked just like Kai. The hologram spoke. This message is for the rightful heir of House Kale. If you are hearing this, the Empire has fallen. I am ... or was. Emperor Calais. My DNA is now a key. You who carry it are my blood. Kai's eyes widened. The man in the hologram had the same face, but older, stronger. His voice was calm, powerful. They betrayed me. My council. Own people. They feared my vision. So I locked the Empire's core systems behind a blood code, my blood. And now, if you are alive, it means the system accepted you. You are one of us. The Empire needs you. The message ended. The orb vanished back into the sword. Kai stood frozen. I don't get it. This has to be a mistake. Maybe I just look like him. ... The older woman stood up. My name is Mira. I served the old Empire. When the fall came, I hid. We all did, but we watched and waited. Kai looked at the group. Most wore old armor, torn clothes, or tech gear. Survivors of something bigger than war. Myra stepped closer. The sword only wakes for the blood. You are him, or at least, you carry him in you. A low rumble echoed from the ground. The sword vibrated in Kai's hand. Suddenly, from the sky, a small round drone flew down, black, smooth, and silent. It hovered in front of Kai then, scanned him with a red beam. Blood code confirmed. Activating Guardian Protocol. A piece of the drone opened, and a larger machine unfolded from within. A humanoid robot landed in the dust, tall and made of dark metal. Its eyes glowed blue. It looked ancient but still alive. The robot knelt before Kai. Designation: Eris. I am your Imperial Guardian. I await your command, my Emperor. Kai blinked. You've got to be kidding me. Mira smiled for the first time. Eris was one of the last defense units of the Golden City. He was said to be unstoppable. Eris stood. I have waited 300 years. Now you must return to the core. The Empire AI is awakening. And so are your enemies. Kai didn't want this. It was too big, too strange, it's too fast. I don't want to lead anything. I just want to go back to my tent. Eris turned to him, expressionless. You no longer have a tent. Now that the sword is active, the world will know. They will come. For you, who will? The shadows. The ones who broke the Empire, and others. Some will want to follow you. Some will want to end you, Mira added. You have no choice now. The Empire has named you. Kai looked down at the sword again. It no longer looked rusty. Its metal had changed. Smooth, black, and gold lines now ran across the blade. The sword was waking up, just like everything else. I don't know how to fight. I don't know how to lead. You'll learn, said Mira, or you'll die. As the group began walking through the ruins, heading toward a hidden base, Eris stayed close to Kai. Do I really look like him? Kai asked. You are him? In part, said Eris. You share his DNA, possibly his mind. The process of awakening has only begun. Kai frowned. What if I don't want to become him? Eris paused. Then you will become something else.
Far
away, deep inside an old war bunker, another screen lit up. Shadowy figure in dark armor watched the old Emperor's sword come online. He smiled, so... ... The heir is alive. The screen showed Kai's face. Send the hunter. I want the boy. Dead. The road was quiet as they moved through the wasteland. Broken towers stood like bones in the distance. Kai walked behind Mira and the others, the sword still hanging at his side. Every time he touched it, he felt a pulse, like it was alive. Beside him, the robot Eris walked silently. He was a machine, but something about him felt ... aware. Watching, protecting Kai didn't trust any of this yet. Not the sword, not the robot, not even Myra. Where are we going? Kai finally asked. Mira pointed at a metal door half buried in the sand ahead. To the old memory chamber. If you truly are who we believe, then the truth is already inside you. They entered the chamber. Inside, the air was thick and cold. The walls were made of silver metal, with glowing symbols that moved like water. Urus walked ahead and placed his hand on a panel. The floor lit up. Prepare for memory sync, RS said. Kai stepped back. Wait, memory what? Before he could move, beams of light shot out from the walls and surrounded him. The sword glowed bright, and his eyes rolled back. And then he fell, but not two. The floor he was falling. Through time, he saw flashes of cities in the sky, ships flying between planets, golden palaces, armies in silver armor, and cheers from crowds calling, Kale, Kale.
Ow.
Long live the Emperor. Kai stood in the middle of it, watching his own face giving speeches, leading wars, smiling beside people he didn't know, somehow recognized. And then it changed. Flames, screams, betrayal. He saw a man tall, bald, with red eyes and a black cloak. The same man from the hologram who wanted him dead. He was once the Emperor's closest general, gave them peace, the man said in the vision. But peace made them soft. I gave them fear. And now, I take the throne. The sword in the vision was shining with fire, but in the end, the Emperor fell. Alone, betrayed. Kai watched his past self be struck down by the man in black. Kai gasped and opened his eyes. He was back in the chamber, lying on the floor. Sweat covered his face. Mira knelt beside him. You saw it, didn't you? She asked. Kai nodded slowly. I think I was him. Or maybe I still am. Your memories are returning, Eris said slowly. You are not just Kai anymore. Kai sat up, heart pounding. I saw him, the man with red eyes. He betrayed the Emperor. Me, whatever. He's still out there. Mira stood and looked at the others. His name was General Voss. He now leads the Shadow faction. They control the old war machines. He wants the sword. And he will come. Kai looked at the glowing blade. Why didn't I remember anything until now? Because your bloodline was locked, Eris said. Only contact with the sword and memory systems can awaken it. Kai stood up slowly. So I'm some kind of emperor reborn. And Voss wants to kill me before I remember too much, Eris replied, correct?
Suddenly the ground shook. Dust fell from the ceiling. Lights flickered, an alarm rang out. Unauthorized entry detected. Everyone drew weapons. RIS's arms
transformed into plasma blades. They're here, Mira said. But too soon. From above, the roof exploded. A sleek black hunter drone dropped into the room. It had spinning arms, red eyes, and moved like a shadow. It pointed at Kai. Target, Emperor bloodline. Eliminate. The drone shot forward. Kai froze. Eris leaped. In front of him, taking the full blast, sparks flew. Eris crashed into the wall. Mira fired her rifle, hitting the drone's side. But it moved too fast. It slashed at another rebel. The man fell with a cry. Kai looked at the sword. It pulsed again, and for the first time he moved with it. He raised the blade, and light exploded from it. The drone screamed as its systems lected. With one clean strike, Kai cut through it, not knowing how. The sword had guided his hand. The drone fell in pieces. Silent smoke filled the air. Aris lay damaged on the ground. Kai stood over the broken machine, chest rising fast. I didn't mean to, ... Myra stepped forward. The sword chose you for a reason. Aris looked up from the floor, sparks in his chest. You are waking. Faster than expected, high above, in a floating ship far from the ruins. Voss stood watching a screen. He saw Kai strike down the drone with one glowing move. Voss narrowed his red eyes. He's not just a copy. He turned to his soldiers. Prepare the next phase. The Empire won't rise again. Asterisk smoke still rose from the destroyed drone. Pieces of it sparked on the floor. Reese sat against the wall, badly damaged, but still conscious. Mira stood beside Kai, her hand on his shoulder. You did what most of us couldn't, she said quietly. You faced a hunter and lived. Kai didn't answer. His heart was still racing. The sword in his hand had stopped glowing now, but something had changed. When he had swung it, he hadn't felt like himself. He had felt like someone else. Why did the sword move like that? He asked. Dotterus, voice flickering, replied, because for a moment, you allowed it. Later that night, they traveled deeper underground into an area Mira called the Heart. It was a place built long ago beneath the ruins, hidden even. During the fall of the Empire, no map showed it. Only the Emperor knew it existed. The group passed through huge metal doors. They entered a wide chamber filled with ancient machines. Long, broken tables surrounded a platform in the center. On the walls were faded banners, black with a golden eagle and 3 stars. This, Mira said, was once the War Council room. Kai stepped forward, the sound of his boots echoing. Hey, why bring me here? Mira touched a panel. Lights came on, and a massive round table lit up. Seats around it opened slowly, one by one. 7 chairs. All empty. The old emperor, she said, once ruled from here with 6 generals. Each seat controlled part of the empire. Sky fleets, ground armies, intelligence, diplomacy, science. And the AI network? She pointed to the center. That seat was his. Kai looked at the main chair. It was simple. Dark metal, curved arms with no symbols, only a place to rest the sword. Try it, Mira said. Kai hesitated. I'm not ready to rule anything. Mira didn't smile this time. Ready or not, you're already leading. Every move you make now affects thousands. Whether you sit or not, the throne has chosen you. Kai slowly stepped toward the chair. He placed the sword into the center slot. Click. The floor vibrated. Soft blue light spread across the table. Holograms appeared. Maps, machines, names, faces, war reports. One of the screens showed a blinking red dot. City called Tarsis, a stronghold once ruled by the Empire, now under shadow control. Another screen showed AI units marked sleeping. Suddenly, the sword glowed again. A message appeared on the table. Emperor verified. Council access granted. All the lights turned on. Aris, now repaired enough to stand, walked into the room. By placing the sword, you have activated the core, the Empire's. AI systems are now waking. Your voice can command them. Kai stared at the screens, saw so many systems, factories, fleets, satellites, all locked, waiting for orders. Waiting for him? This is insane, he whispered. I never asked for this. I just wanted to survive, sell scrap, eat, sleep. Mira nodded. That's what Kale once wanted too. Before they gave him a crown, Kai looked at her. You knew him, didn't you? She looked away. I was his advisor, one of the last to leave his side before the fall. Kai studied her. Then why didn't you take the sword? Mira replied. Softly, because it never responded to anyone, until you. Suddenly, one of the side doors burst open. Teenage girl entered, covered in dirt and breathing hard. They're coming, she said. Shadow scouts. 2 ships. No time to run. Mira nodded. They found us faster than we thought. Eris stepped forward. There is an option. The Emperor may activate the Sentinels, old defense units buried around the base. Only his voice can command them. Kai hesitated. What if I do it wrong? You can't, Mira said. They only listen to one voice. Yours. Kai stood before the table. He took a deep breath. Activate Sentinel defense grid, he said. Silence. Then a deep mechanical. Voice answered. Command accepted. Sentinels online. Outside, the ground cracked open. Giant war machines rose from beneath the ruins, tall, armored, with glowing blue lights. Old technology. Ancient power. The 2 shadow ships flying overhead tried to turn. But it was too late. The Sentinels opened fire. From a safe place nearby, Voss watched through a spy drone. He saw the Sentinels rise, saw the war room active, and he saw Kai. Standing at the center, Voss clenched his fists. He's activating everything. We waited too long. He turned to his officers. The boy is no longer sleeping. He's waking, ... and remembering. Prepare the final weapon. If we don't stop him now, the Empire will rise again. Inside the War Council, Kai sat down slowly. Around him, screens flickered. The Empire was broken, but not dead. The sword pulsed once more. He wasn't just Kai anymore. He was something in between, and the war was just beginning. The War Council room was quiet again. The giant sentinels outside had gone still, standing guard like silent titans. The Shadow Scouts were gone, destroyed before they could report back. But inside the base, the real danger was only just beginning. Kai sat alone at the war table, staring at the sword. His hands were shaking, not from fear, from pressure. He had commanded machines he didn't understand, ordered death with a single voice, saved everyone, and still felt like he was losing control. I'm not ready for this, he whispered. Behind him, Aris stepped forward. Leadership isn't about being ready. It's about choosing when no one else can. Kai didn't answer. He looked at the faces of those around him. Mira, silent but watchful. The new girl, Lyra, standing near a map. Several others. Engineers, scouts, and fighters. All of them now looked at him differently. Not like a scavenger, but like an emperor. And not all of them liked it that night. While others rested, someone moved through the base's shadowed halls. Quiet, careful. Carrying a small device, blinking red, he entered the old AI control room. A dark place filled with sleeping machines. He placed the device behind a panel. It stuck there with a soft click. He whispered into a hidden mic. Packages armed. He won't survive tomorrow. Then he vanished back into the dark at sunrise. Mira gathered the team. We move today. If we strike Tarsize before Voss reinforces it, we take back the last AI hub. From there, we can reboot the Imperial Core across the entire system. Kai nodded. He was learning fast strategy, command, signals. It scared him, how quickly it came to him. But he didn't have time to question it anymore. Everyone moved to prepare. Everyone. Except one. Lyra walked with Kai to the ship dock. You really don't remember anything from before? She asked. Just flashes, Kai replied. Dreams, faces, pain. But it feels like I'm two people fighting for space in one body. You ever wonder, she asked, if maybe you were never meant to come back? Kai looked at her. Sometimes. But now that I have, I need to finish what he started, or at least ... fix what he broke. She smiled. That's the first true emperor thing you've said. But her smile didn't reach her eyes. Hours later, the base shook again. Not from an attack, from inside. An explosion rocked the eastern wing. Alarms blared. Smoke filled the air. Fire in the AI control room, someone shouted. Systems are crashing. Kai ran with Mira and Eris to the blast site. The room was destroyed. Flames burned across consoles. Sparks flew. Half the base lights went out. Eris scanned the wreckage. It was a planted charge. Not sabotage, ... betrayal. Kai looked around. Someone from the inside did this. Mira nodded grimly. Someone who doesn't want the Empire to rise again. Later that evening, a meeting was held. The room was. Tense eyes moved across the team. No one spoke at first. Then Mira looked at the youngest engineer, a nervous boy named Rico. You were on shift last night. Did you see anything? He swallowed hard. I saw Commander Dallin. He went into the AI room, said he was checking power flow. Dallin, a tall man with sharp eyes, stepped forward. Mine, Dallin said calmly. I never went near the room, but Eris was already projecting footage. A recording from a hidden eye in the hall. It showed Dallin planting the device. Everyone turned to him. Dallin didn't deny it. Instead, he stepped back, pulled a small weapon from his coat, and pointed it at Kai. The boy's a copy, he said. A clone of a dead emperor. He'll save us? He'll just lead us to the same end? War, fire, collapse? Kai didn't move, So you tried to kill me? No, Dallin said. I tried to stop history from repeating. In a flash, Aris moved. His arm blade shot forward and pinned Dallin's weapon to the wall. The man fell, breathing hard, captured. Everyone looked to Kai now. He had to decide. Punishment, mercy, or exile. It was his first true order as emperor. He walked up to Dallin, looked him in the eye. You could have spoken, questioned, voted, but you planted a bomb. You risked every life in this base. Kai's voice was calm, colder than, before you don't believe in me, that's fine. But betrayal gets one response. He turned to Mira. Lock him up. And if he tries to escape again, exile him into the Deadlands. Dallin didn't speak. He just stared, full of hate. That night, Kai stood alone in the War Council. Room again. He had saved them once, and judged one of their own. He looked at the sword. So this is what it means to rule. Hera stood beside him. And now, the shadows will strike harder. Oh, you've shown them you're not weak. Tap. Storm clouds gathered. The war for Tarses would come next. And this time, it would be a lout. Asterisk, the sky over Tarsis was blood red. Black smoke rose from the shattered skyline, where broken towers leaned like dying giants. Lightning cracked across the clouds. Beneath it all, in the shadows of the ruined capital, Voss waited deep. In his throne room, he watched a hologram, the face of Kai, the so-called heir. The boy had survived every trap, had awakened the sword, had taken command of ancient war machines. Voss clenched his fist. This child carries more than Kale's blood, he said, carries his fire. Behind him, an officer stepped forward. Shall we begin the purge, my lord? Voss turned, his red eyes glowing. No, let the Emperor come to me. Let him see what he truly is. Far above, hidden in the clouds, Kai's ship approached. Inside the cockpit, Mira studied the screens. We're almost over Tarsis. Heavy jamming signals. Voss doesn't want us to see what he's hiding. Eris stood behind her, fully repaired, his armor shining dark blue. He knows we're coming. Kai didn't answer. He sat near the window, eyes locked on the ruined city below. The sword rested across his knees, humming faintly. You ever wonder, he said softly, if this isn't just a war between me and Voss? What if it's something deeper? Mira turned to him.
Do you mean?
Kai looked at her. I don't think I'm a copy anymore. As the ship landed, the resistance forces moved in formation. Sentinels marched through the streets, clearing mines and drones. Rebel fighters secured buildings. But everywhere, something felt wrong. Too quiet, too empty. Lyra, now acting as Kai's scout, turned from a side alley. No civilians, she said. No bots, just dust. It's like the cities. Sleeping. I frowned. Or hiding. They reached the center, the AI core tower, a place said to hold the last piece of the Empire's brain. If Kai could take it, he could reconnect every machine, base, and defense grid ever built by the old Empire. But something was waiting. The moment Kai stepped inside, the doors sealed shut behind him. Eris, Mira. No answer. Darkness swallowed. The chamber, then light. Holograms lit up around him. Not of maps. Not of ores of him. Kai stood frozen, as thousands of images floated around him, scans of his face, his brain, his DNA. Notes, equations, test logs. A voice echoed through the chamber. Cold, familiar. Welcome home. Kai turned. Voss stood at the far end of the hall, hands behind his back. I was hoping you'd find this place, Voss said. You deserve the truth. Kai gripped the sword tighter. I'm not afraid of you. You should be, Voss replied. Not because I'll kill you, but because after this, you'll never see yourself the same again. Voss walked slowly toward a console and activated another recording. A hologram of the original Emperor Kale appeared, older, wounded, eyes tired. If this fails, if I die, then my clone must awaken. But it must not carry my mind. It's only my blood, only my drive, not my memories. Kai stared at the hologram. Voss continued. You weren't just made from him. You were built by him, created in a lab under this very tower. You're not his heir. You're his second chance. Kai stepped back, chest tight. No, that's a lie. Is it? Voss snapped. Then why do you fight like him? Command like him? Why does the sword obey you? Because it was designed to. You are the sword's final lock. Kai dropped to his knees. The room spun. I'm not real. Voss knelt beside him, voice cold. No, you're not a king. You're a weapon. But something changed in that moment. The sword pulsed. A new voice echoed in Kai's mind. Not the sword's, not the AI's. His own. I may have been made, but I still choose who I become. Kai stood. Voss stepped back, surprised. The sword glowed white-hot. Outside, Myra and the others finally broke through the sealed entrance. They entered just in time to see Kai and Voss facing each other. You were never supposed to wake, Voss said. Kai raised the sword. Neither were you. They clashed. Blade met blade. Light against shadow. The room shook with every strike. Voss's blade was black and jagged, filled with dark energy, but Kai's sword burned brighter than ever before. In the final moment, Kai feinted left, then struck clean through Voss's chest. The Shadow General gasped, dropped his weapon, and fell. The city fell silent. Later, as the systems rebooted, the AI core accepted Kai's command. Across the world, old Empire satellites blinked to life, bases reconnected, machines awakened, and for the first time in centuries, the Empire breathed again. Kai stood alone in the tower. He looked out at the city. He knew now what he was. Not Kale. Not just a clone, but something new. A bridge between the past and the future. The sword rested at his side, waiting. The sky above Tarsi's turned blue for the first time in years. The black clouds that had hovered over the city for so long were gone. The last of Voss's signal jammers had been destroyed. The AI core had been rebooted. Sentinel towers stood tall, their blue lights glowing with life, but inside the old throne hall, Kai stood alone. No crown, no ceremony, no cheering crowd, only silence. He stood before the ancient imperial seat, the same place where Emperor Kale had once ruled. It's where Kai had nearly died learning the truth. His hand rested on the sword, not glowing now. It's just waiting. Mira stepped into the hall, her boots echoing softly. You did it, she said. Kai didn't turn. I thought it would feel like victory, but it just feels heavy. Mira moved closer. That's what it means to lead. You carry the weight even. After the battle is over, Kai turned toward her. Am I leading or just repeating? She smiled sadly. That depends on your next choice. Outside, the world was changing. Towers that once slept were coming alive. Drones were rebuilding roads. Defense walls were forming again around the cities. The Imperial AI, long dormant, was restoring order across old rebel camps and forgotten outposts. People stared at the sky, hearing a new voice for the first time. Kai's voice. This is not the return of an old empire. This is the beginning of something better. Your eyes. Not to rule, but to rebuild. Not as conquerors, but as guardians. And across the lands, even enemies paused to listen, but not everyone wanted peace. Far beyond the ruined cities. On a cold, distant moon, something ancient stirred. A vault long sealed began to crack. Inside it, another clone, but not of Kale. One. Darker. One that had never known mercy. Voss's true creation. Hidden, forgotten. Kept in cryo for a final war. His eyes opened, glowing crimson. Back on Tarsi's, Kai walked through the halls with Eris. I don't want a throne, Kai said. I don't want statues or flags or my name in steel. Eris looked at him. Then you already lead better than the last one. Kai stopped. What if I lose myself? What if I become just another version of him? Eris stepped in front of him. You are not Kale. You are Kai. You carry his blood. But your heart is your own. That night, as the stars returned to the sky, the Empire's council room opened again. 6 chairs now had new leaders. Mira, Lyra, engineers, fighters, Survivors, the seventh seat, the center, remained empty. Kai walked in. Everyone stood. He looked at the chair, then at the people, and for the first time, he sat not as a copy, not as a replacement, but as himself. The sword floated beside him, glowing not with Kale's light. Das. The AI voice filled the chamber. Command recognized. Da. New Emperor registered. Kai of the New Dawn. Orders. Kai smiled just a little. Begin. EPLOGUs later, stories would spread, not of a perfect ruler, but of a leader who listened, who chose to build instead of destroy, who knew what it meant to fall, and still rise again. They would say he came from nothing. They would say he was born in ruins. But above all, they would say he picked up the rusty sword and became the emperor the galaxy had forgotten it needed.